Hi everybody, good morning. This is Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I'm in my sewing room today and I am finishing up my Row Along with Jean quilt. I just received it back from my long arm quilter. As you know, I quilt 90%, maybe 95% of the quilts I have ever made. And only recently I have been sending out one, I would say, in every 10 quilts that I make to my long armor, or to a long armor. His name is David Hurd, Quilting by David. I'll put up his information. It is an expense to send my quilts out, and as you know, I can quilt them on my machine. However, sometimes I just want my quilt back if we're having a good month. I can qualify it because they come back beautifully quilted all over, and a really nice job for a special quilt. And as you know, this quilt was tutorials, step-by-step tutorials for a beginner sampler row quilt that you can check out my playlist, how I've done it and how I've done the backing for it. And he did just a beautiful job. I will be showing you the quilt in all of its glory, but right now you get the quilt back unbound. The edges are all lovely and stay stitched down. Of course, I cut off my corners. Yes, I know. I cut off my corners here. I always round off my corners of my quilt. My next quilt, I have to see if I'm going to square off the corners. Everybody's like, go for it, Jean. Anyway, I round off my corners. This isn't a tutorial as such because you've seen me bind my quilts a million times. I did, however, go into my fabric room to try to figure out the binding. Now, my quilt is primarily peaches and pastels, not pastels, but these colors. Peaches and pale blues and greens and reds. And I went into my fabric room, and one of the first fabrics that popped out at me was this fabric. Was a green and white stripe, right? You know me and my stripes. I love my stripes. And I thought, I'm going to just go with green and white. Is it going to match? I thought, yeah, it'll be okay, I think. So anyway, I made a bunch of binding, and again, this is not a tutorial. You've seen me do this, but what I'm going to do, I just wanted to chat with you this morning, invite you into my sewing room, and just not really, as I say, not really a tutorial. I've cut my binding at 2 1/4 inches, and I'm sewing my binding to the back of my fabric, my back of my quilt, which has already been fully quilted, and I'm going to leave about a 9-inch or so tail, and I'm going to go about a 1/3 of the way down my quilt and start leaving this tail, and I'm just going to sew my binding again on the back of my quilt. But I just wanted to say hello to you guys. You must excuse my voice. Actually, I'm okay, but the last I would say 6 or 7 days I've had a cold, just a head cold, nothing more. I mean, last year, as you know, I had a really bad year with bronchitis and pneumonia, but this is just a head cold, and I must say, I got it from Ian, my husband, and I have to tell you, hopefully you can hear me over my machine. I'll speak louder than usual. Out of our 9 sons and our 1 daughter, about a week or 10 days ago, 4 of our sons, all separate households with their own families, 4 of our sons got really deathly ill with the flu, and then turning into bronchitis, fevers, really bad. Our 1 son had to be rushed to the urgent care because he was severely dehydrated. Took several IV bags full to get him back up to snuff. And that's turned into bronchitis. So our dear boys, I'll tell you, and then our 1 granddaughter, Cosette, she also was not very well at all. So as of this moment, I think everybody's on the mend. Ian had gotten the cold. This isn't very, very encouraging. We're all sick. But there for a while, I was thinking of it, there for a while, all I was ever telling my folks out in YouTube land was how disaster of a life we had. And I haven't done that. I thought, no, everybody has a disaster of a life. So I don't want to burden you with our troubles yet again, because we had one disaster after another. Oh, it was funny. No, it wasn't funny. I mean, it wasn't funny at all. But what are you going to do? But yeah, we've been pretty okay. And then we weren't. It's just a cold. It's just a cold. I'm not a blow my nose type of person. I'm not. I don't. Yeah, and I think I've bought like 1 box of tissues in my life. I've gone through like 4 boxes of tissues. I'm blowing my nose all over the place. But no yucky gunk or anything like that. So that's good. So anyway, that's that. I think my cold's getting over. Maxwell's been okay. Ian's finally clearing up also, his cold. And our boys, oh, the poor boys, they have families. And oh, I felt so bad. Anyway, I'm going to do the corners here. I'm binding my corners, as you know. I just go very, very, very slowly, pushing my binding back under my curve, I should say my rounded corner, and then come on the straightaway. So I hope all of you are okay. Ian is out today, but he has done a few more of your sewing rooms tours. So you'll be seeing Ian again. He's enjoying that very much. So I'm just gonna finish up binding my quilt, and then I'll show you the entire quilt all done and how it was so beautifully quilted by David. All right, so here I go. Now, I turn it over and I stitch down my binding to the front of my quilt. I wonder what this, oh, my clock's gone. I wonder what this is in real time. So now there's my curved corners. And I'm just going to fold over my binding. I wonder how long this has taken me. I'm just going to start up here and close all that rubbish. Stitch nice and close to the stem. So many times when I'm sewing or when I'm doing a video, a lot of you say it's just like I've come to you I've come to me in my sewing room, and you're sitting there across and we're having a chat. I really like that idea, because not me, because I have a large family, although we get together on quite a few occasions, but everybody has their own life, obviously. And at home here, it's only Ian, my husband, our son Maxwell, and myself, which is very unusual because we had a family of 12 forever. And sometimes when the boys leave, Maxwell and Ian, like they have today, I'm all by myself. So I'm thinking, oh, I just want to chat with somebody. So I'm chatting to my camera and you guys. So thank you so very much. I just had my cup of tea downstairs and my toast. We found a really awesome bakery, Alice's Bakery. Oh my goodness, really a nice bakery. And we get this beautiful bread. Oh, lovely, lovely bread, and like a cheese bread also, really nice. So I'm coming to my curved corners, and I'm just tucking that, just folding it over, stitch by stitch. You always must remember to keep everything at the 1/4 of an inch. You don't pull anything, you don't force anything, you just fold it over like that. You just tuck everything under, like so. And boom, you have a lovely, let me just see that just a second, you have a lovely curved corner. My Row Along with Jean quilt is finished, completely bound and quilted. I'm so very pleased with it. I just wanted to show you, I have done a tutorial on how I made the back, but I want to show you what a lovely job that David, my long arm quilter, did quilting this, because I gave him this piece backing, and what I asked is, because the backing was bigger with whole blocks, as you can see, patchwork, I asked him to please center it, which he did absolutely beautiful on each side of the quilt, as you can see. It's just so lovely. I'll take some close-ups of my quilt. Oh, it's so pretty. Again, these fat quarters that I had cut down were from the actual fabric manufacturer packet that I had made for the front of my quilt. I'm so thrilled the way it's turned out. We have a little extra bed in my fabric room, and I'm going to just stick this on, even though it's not like a twin size, doesn't quite go over. It's more of a large throw size, but it looks really pretty. Please, thank you for following along with me from beginning to end. Again, see my playlist, how I made this, how you can make it. All right, folks, thanks so much for following along. On to my next project, whatever that is. Got to finish that one up, and then we'll see. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.